Hey guys, Ben here from If Nutrition, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you all about sleep, why it's so important and how much of it you need. Now, whether your goal is gaining muscle mass and bulking up, or whether it's fat loss and losing a few pounds, sleep plays a massive role in this. You put a lot of time and effort in the gym, you put a lot of time and effort into your nutrition or trying to stick to your kind of diet regime to cut down. You don't want to fall short on the last hurdle, which is sleep. It gets massively overlooked. People don't really think it's that important. And in today's video, I'm going to take you through how much sleep you need to get, why it's so important. And I'm also going to describe the 4 stages of sleep that you go through every night and how that plays a factor into your goal, whether that's weight loss or muscle gain. So let's get on with it. So firstly, how much sleep do you need a night? Well, there's lots of different studies out there, but generally, for an adult, we're talking 7 to 9 hours. Now, some people can cope on a little bit less than this. Some people need a little bit more. Where you fall in that matrix depends on basically just how much sleep you feel comfortable with and how much your body kind of needs to do its thing and wake up feeling rested. So, most people stick to around the 8 hours. 8 hours is kind of the typical. You need to basically find what your sweet spot is between the 7 and 9 hours, but don't be kind of fooled into thinking, oh, that's right, I can kind of cope on 5 hours, because when we get into the next part of the video, you're going to see the different stages of the sleep cycle you go through and why they're so important. And if you cheap out on the sleep, then you're not going to be able to get through all of the stages enough, which means you're not going to get the recovery you need, which means, again, if you are out there, guys, trying to maximize your muscle gain, you are absolutely screwing up your results by kind of scrimping on the sleep side. So we want to be aiming for around 8 hours, between 7 and 9, find your sweet spot and stick to it. So sleep enhances muscle recovery through protein synthesis, also through growth hormone release. So at this point, when we're sleeping, our muscles are really recovering. All of the protein that we've consumed during that day is being used to basically fix and rebuild those muscles. So you do not want to scrimp on this process, because if you scrimp on that process, your muscles are not going to be rebuilt and recover as quickly or as well, which means that all of the effort that we're putting in the gym just isn't having the full effect. Sleep deprivation can make you cause weight. It messes with your appetite hormones, it messes with your leptin levels, which are responsible for hunger, which means that you are going to feel a lot more hungry. Now, if you are on a weight loss thing and you are trying to lose weight, you are going to be restricting your calories. The one thing you really don't want is to then feel extra hungry, because it is going to make you basically live in a living hell. You are going to constantly be hungry, more hungry than normal, plus you are going to be on restricted calories. So it's going to be torturous, and this can be kind of avoided by just making sure we kind of get enough sleep, because that is going to help avoid kind of like increasing our stress cortisol levels, and also it's going to stop, our appetite hormones going out of control, increasing leptin, which is going to make you feel more hungry. Avoid this by just making sure you're getting enough sleep, again, around 8 hours a night. So the 4 stages of sleep. Now, like I've said, there's 4 stages. They kick in about 90 minutes each. Some are REM, some are non-REM, so rapid eye movement, most people have heard of. If not, you've probably heard of the band REM if you're old like me. But, there are the 4 stages of sleep. You're going to go between them every 90 minutes. So let's start with stage 1. This is the first stage of sleep. And this is the one where you kind of just doze off. You've had it before, you're kind of dozing off, you wake yourself up, you're dozing off, or someone closes the door, wakes you up. You're easily woken from this stage. Your brain waves are going and you're logging your kind of muscle memories from that day. Like I say, first stage, easily woken. This is the first stage of going into sleep before we get into a deeper sleep. So stage 2 is when we descend into more of a light sleep. Our brain activity slows down, we release human growth hormone, which then helps to rebuild our muscles, which is what we want. It also helps to kind of regulate our metabolism as well. So some important things happening in this stage. Following this stage comes the deepest sleep stage, which is stage 3. And in this stage, we are going to massively increase our blood flow. We're going to increase even more human growth hormone in this stage. And this is the stage that the most muscle growth and repair happens. So obviously we want to get to stage 3 because that's where the kind of magic is happening. And that growth hormone flooding the body helps the body recover. It helps us kind of get back on track. It's also supporting your immune system and also your metabolism as well. There's also like anti-inflammatory hormones that are released. You know, this is going to help keep your joints good, help repair those as well. So, you know, you can see if you kind of miss out like a certain stage or you come out of a stage too early, it can have a massive effect on kind of where you get to in your recovery process. Okay, so leads on to stage 4. So this is the final stage, the REM stage. This is where the brain starts waking back up. This is where we're going to experience dreaming. This is where a massive amount of oxygen kind of comes flooding back in to oxygenate the muscles. You know, this is going to help break down those kind of lactic acids that have built up. You know, if we come out this stage too early or we allow that to build up too much, that is where you're going to end up with these kind of trigger point, painful parts within your muscle that you're going to then need to get worked. So really important that we kind of get to that stage 4 of REM sleep, because obviously, you know, we want that kind of oxygen flooding. We don't want to have trigger points building up and cause ourselves problems. So I hope you can see from that the 4 stages of sleep and why they are important to your recovery, and how if you're scrimping on your sleep and you're not able to get through those stages, enough of those stages, or you come out of those stages too soon and your body's unable to kind of complete what it's doing, that how that can have massive effects on your body basically and on your recovery. And ultimately, when we're trying to maximize our gains, when we're trying to make sure that we can kind of lose as much weight as possible if we're on a weight loss thing, without, you know, if you're on a restricted diet, if you're really trying to go for weight loss, the last thing that you want to do is be making your life harder by messing with your leptin levels because you're not getting enough sleep, so that you're constantly over hungry, you know, because it's just going to make your job that much harder. And likewise, if you're trying to bulk up, you're trying to get more lean muscle, the last thing that you want to be doing is putting all the work in the gym and all of the work into your nutrition and then scrimping on your sleep, not being able to get through the recovery stages, you know, because it's going to take you twice as long. So, you know, get the maximum amount of result from the effort you put in. Make sure you get enough sleep. Like I said, you want to be going for around 8 hours. I'd love to know in the comments below, you know, how much sleep do you reckon you get on average on a daily basis? You know, for me, I kind of gun for the 8 hours, and even then I'm probably a little bit tired. So I prefer more, but I'd love to know kind of how many hours you reckon you're getting a night. So if you like this video, hit the like button, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.